Thank you for being here. Question is, in terms of what's been going on here and over in the UK with Brexit, there's this now massive attention being paid to the globalization.
Yes, globalism, yes.
And the
globalists.
Globalists. And then the fact that these trade deals are now like the big talking points in much of this election. I guess between the trade deals and the effects they've had on the country and maybe in the UK too, I don't know their stats that well, but between that and then actual like technological advances where drivers will be replaced by by automated drivers, there will be more of a mass elimination of potential jobs of low skill workers.
Right.
Who, in theory, who should be responsible for, I guess, creating given who we have running the government now, who should be responsible for creating a plan for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million additional unemployed people? And depending on what your answer is, is it more Darwinian, or is it obviously not preferred, but an expansion of the welfare state?
Okay, so a couple of things that, and I'll just take one. We want you to ask, but I'll take it as a leaping off point. So you mentioned this globalism, globalization, globalist. There's this kind of word that's being thrown around in this election, globalist, a lot. I know it's leading Drudge right now. Trump is beating the globalists. Yeah. I think this is mixing up two definitions of what globalism means. There's the globalists, as in people who want global governance, like the UN and the EU, who actually promulgating regulations on people they don't govern. I oppose that, right? So I was in favor of Brexit. Then there's globalism in terms of free trade. Yes. I'm very much in favor of that because I like cheaper products, and I think that if you make a cheaper product and I make a cheaper product, we should be able to trade with each other, and it's none of your damn business to take away my ability to buy a product or produce a product to be sold in another nation, right? Because I'm for freedom. I'm not in favor of government intervention. As far as who's responsible, like who takes care of these people, the truth is that the economy, I mean, this is an unpopular answer, but the market takes care of these people because the reality is that the percentage of unemployment in 1900, right, when people weren't even making cars, right? They were still doing what happened to all the horse and buggy manufacturers? Right? All of them ended up finding other jobs. This is what happens in a developing economy. And the economy is constantly developing. So that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for people who are thrown out of work. It isn't. And this has been true since the days of the Industrial Revolution. Right? There was a whole group in Britain called the Luddites, and they would go around literally smashing machinery, right? Because the Industrial Revolution created these machines. They were all out of work. They couldn't do the work by hand. They would literally go around blowing up machines to the extent the British government made it a death penalty offense to blow up machinery, because it was becoming so prevalent. Well, the British economy didn't collapse. The British economy continued to grow, right? The Industrial Revolution drove the British Empire to new heights. The reality is the technological change is good for people because it means that we don't have rotary telephones anymore. We have the iPhone, and we have people who work on the iPhone both here and overseas, and we work on different products. Somebody tweeted at me the other day, back in the 1950s, 90% of T-shirts were made in the United States. It's like, yes, so now they're all made in Vietnam, and we make iPhones over here. It's better. Right? The purpose of the economy is not to create jobs. It's to create better products that we all have the power to consume. And in a country where even the poorest people have an iPhone, it's very difficult to argue that technological development and free trade have really been a net loss for the American population. That doesn't help the guy who loses his job. It doesn't help the guy who loses his job. But unfortunately, it's your responsibility as an individual human being to cultivate skill sets that allow you to make that labor transferable. And all of these, and you can have government actors lie to you. I mean, everybody just wants somebody to lie to them in the end. When the government says we have a make work program or we have a government training program, none of these have been proved at any point to actually create jobs or help people transition into new jobs. Because as we all know, anybody who's ever worked a job, where did you learn to do your job? Working at the job, right? You didn't go to a program. When I was a lawyer for 5 minutes, right? I didn't learn how to be a lawyer by going to law school. I learned how to be a lawyer by actually being at a law firm. And this is true for the vast majority of people. So anybody who lies to you and tells you that he's going to bring jobs back by shutting down free trade with China or such nonsense, he will bring a few jobs back, right, so to speak, because he'll penalize all the rest of us by making us pay higher prices. But he's not going to bring jobs total back. He'll kill the economy. So it's hard to say to people, your life is in your hands, but that's what freedom is called. Your life is in your hands, and it's not my responsibility to take care of you. It's your responsibility to take care of you. It's your responsibility to take care of your kids. And I'll give you a helping hand if you come to me and you show me that you're willing to work. But that's my decision. That's not your decision to distribute my property.